This is the Woke Alert app. So, what the hell is this, right? I just heard about this just today. So, didn't really have much time to do too much research on it. But apparently, it's a company called Consumers Research, which was established in 1929, essentially, which is creating a free app that if you sign up, it'll send you alerts as to what conservatives are filling their diapers over this week. See, one thing that you hear often from the right wing is this idea that the left, we're all a bunch of snowflakes, that we can cry and complain and boycott stuff that we don't like, and it's because the left is intellectually bankrupt and they don't believe in freedom of speech and all this other bullshit, blah, 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 blah. And it's, and the left has this cancel culture. And what we do is, when you're canceling somebody, it's because you're mad at them. You're irrationally mad at them, for because you can't actually deal with what they're saying or what they're doing, and you can't debate them. So all you have to do is cancel them, and canceling is public shaming and all this other crap and blah blah blah. And the left is that's all they do is they cancel people, right? Then in real life, conservatives will get pissed off because the M&Ms are not sexy enough anymore, right? Or that Gillette razors did a commercial telling men not to be assholes anymore, right? Or that Bud Light, had the audacity to try to market towards trans people or something like that. Something like that'll happen, and then all of the conservatives fill their diapers over it, shitting their pants in rage. Because in real life, conservatives are the ones who invented cancel culture, right? That's where cancel culture actually came from. Like, what does cancel culture mean? What is it, right? Cancel culture is boycotting something. Essentially, when it comes to a product, when it comes to a person, that's what cancel culture is. Cancel culture is basically saying, I am not going to partake of this person's goods or services any longer. If it's an actor and he's in a movie, I'm not going to see his movie. If it's a company that makes a certain product, I'm not going to buy their product. I'm not going to, if it's a TV show, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to buy products of anyone that advertises on it, stuff like that. Sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it isn't. I will agree there. Not everybody in the world deserves to be canceled for doing the slightest little offensive thing, right? But, I think it's an effective deterrent against racists and assholes, right? I think it's an effective deterrent basically to prevent, certain people from when they have racist outbreaks and shit like that. You don't want to associate with them anymore, and this is your right as an American and also as a consumer. I mean, right wing people are always talking about how we need to vote with our dollars, and that they like to pretend that the only true power you have is the power of your purse, the power of your consumerism, right? They like to pretend that that's really the only form of democracy that's valid on the right wing. So, isn't that your right? I mean, nobody says I have to spend my money someplace that I don't like. Is that not true? Are you or are you not allowed to spend your money in the way that you see fit? Right. So I like how they levy this as a criticism towards the left wing, and then you see something like this, something like a woke alert app. Let me go ahead and turn on my monitor here for a second. Right. Let's see. Let's turn on my laptop. This is Woke Alert from Consumers Research, established in 1929. Right. And basically, what it is, you sign up, you give them your information, and then they send you texts that say, this thing pissed off conservatives this week, this thing is making us cry like babies, this thing is making us clutch our pearls, whatever. These companies supported legislation to hire an army of 187 new IRS agents. Learn more. Let's see. Which companies do I need to be pissed at because they believe that rich people should be taxed, right? Gives us a whole thing. In 2022, the woke corporations lined up the Radical Inflation Reduction Act. While the deceptively named legislation did nothing to help combat inflation, it did, however, support the hiring of 87,000 new IRS agents. Yes, it did, by the way. It did plenty of things to reduce inflation, but we'll talk about that another time. Okay. Why is the right wing so pissed off at the IRS hiring 87,000 new agents? So first off, it's not 87,000 new IRS agents, right? That's not what happened. It's funding for that many, right? Because many of them are going to be retiring and stuff like that. So it's to rehire new people that retire. So not exactly, but there is a decent amount of IRS agents who will be hired. And why do they want to hire new IRS agents? Because right now the IRS is working on a sort of skeleton crew. Over the last 4 years of Donald Trump, they basically had their funding cut way down. Well, when you don't have a lot of IRS agents, what do? They focus on the poor and the middle class, right? Because it takes a long time to audit rich people, right? It takes a long time to audit rich people. It takes a long time to audit corporations. And if they don't have enough money, right, then they go to where it's easier, where they get more return, right, for the labor they put in. So that's why for the last 5 years, they've been running the IRS with a skeleton crew. And now Joe Biden is saying, no, we're going to focus more on rich people and corporations, right? It is actually, I think, a fantastic thing that they're hiring, more IRS agents, that they're going to stop things like, say, because right now we're seeing giant corporations get away with paying no taxes. How many times have you heard about Amazon, for example, paying zero in taxes, right? Or, somebody like fucking Elon Musk or whatever, paying a lower percentage of his taxes than his secretary does, right? That shit like that is ridiculous, right? And you can only imagine how many weird little tricks and like offshore hideaways and loopholes and shit that guy's taken advantage of, right? So no, this is a good thing, I think, in my opinion. It's great. I hope they focus more and catch all the goddamn tax cheats, right? Catch all of them. Catch them all and catch all the poor people who are cheating on their taxes. Catch the middle class people and catch the fucking rich people too. And in order to do that, they need to hire more people, right? 87,000 new agents, although I really don't think it's that much. Why does the right wing hate that? Because that means that rich people are going to have to actually start paying taxes for a change. So they instead, but they can't actually attack it like that, right? They can't actually say what they really, because that's what they really mean. What they really want is they don't want rich people to pay taxes, but they can't actually say that, so they made up some bullshit about, the IRS, like somehow this shit is woke. And I don't really understand how, like, you know, how hiring more IRS people to actually, like, audit all the rich tax cheats. I don't understand how that shit translates into being woke. But whatever, right? Let's go back here. What else are they pissed off at? Let's see. Jack Daniels. This is a thing that broke over the last couple of days. Apparently, Jack Daniels did a thing a few years ago. In 2021, an ad campaign featured 3 drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race resurfaced recently. So this is even some shit that they did 2 years ago. Now the right wing is fucking, like, shitting their pants over it, right? They're fucking, like, getting the vapors over it. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Okay. This backlash comes a mere 3 weeks after Tennessee legislatures passed a resolution restricting drag performances in response to a growing trend of drag queen performances for children, often billed as story hours sexualizing young children. Yep, sexualizing young children. See, because that's how they have to attack it. They have to attack it in the way that, they have to pretend that they're protecting the children when in real life they don't give a shit about children. I mean, this last segment we just did was all about highly placed conservative activists grooming underage kids, right? They're projecting, folks. They don't care about your children. Anyway, moving on here. This shit is funny. Of course, we all know about Bud Light, right? So we did 2 videos on Bud Light. No need to go over that again. So anyway, I'm really tempted to actually sign up for this because then I can keep track of all of the ridiculous things that conservatives are clutching their pearls over, that they're that they're fucking getting heart attacks about, right? Because I actually think it's kind of funny. Let's turn this shit off, man. This is fucking fuck this thing. I think it's kind of funny, every time the conservatives lose their minds over some shit, because they get mad over the dumbest fucking things. Right? The stupidest fucking shit, Mr. Potato Head, for fuck's sake, right? Dr. Seuss, they get mad over that stuff. They get mad over fucking the M&Ms, not being sexy enough. I guess if M&Ms aren't fuckable, then you shouldn't eat them or whatever, right? The stupidest fucking shit, you know. Dylan Mulvaney getting a beer can. They didn't even create like Bud Light, because that's the thing that's like super big in the news now, and it's all over fucking Twitter, shit like that. The Dylan Mulvaney thing. I mean, I did 2 videos on it myself. Right. They didn't even do a promotion with her. Like, you can't go to the store and buy the Dylan Mulvaney can. That's not a thing. There is no Dylan Mulvaney collector can. They just made one for her, and she showed it on her Instagram, and that's it. That's all it fucking was, and that is a step too far. Now there's fucking morons out there running over Bud Light in fucking bulldozers and shooting them up with machine guns because, conservatives have to destroy things. They just can't, tell you that they don't like something. They have to actually blow it up or whatever the fuck, or run it over or shoot it with a gun or something because they're a bunch of, children. That's the kind of shit that children do. That's, seriously, it's like a kid, who's when your mom says you have to share your Hershey bar with your little sister, and you don't want to share it, and she goes, you have to share it. And so instead of giving it to your little sister, you throw it on the ground, stomp on it, and you go, now neither of us can get it. That's what it's sort of like to me whenever I hear these things about conservatives losing their minds over some product that marketed to the wrong people. It really reminds me of a kid in kindergarten stomping on his Hershey bar, because he'd rather destroy it than share it with someone he doesn't like, right? Extremely childish behavior. Whenever I see this happening, it's truly the dumbest fucking shit. And of course, these morons have found a way to fucking grift off of it, because you realize that the app may be free, but they're selling your information, right? That's really what it is. Nothing is really free, If you sign up for this, you're going to get marketing emails and marketing texts and stuff like that based on the things that you click. Right? Everything, So it's just another fucking ridiculous grift. That's all these people are, folks. It's grifters all the way down. Hello folks, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, please consider buying something from my Etsy shop, supporting me on Patreon, liking and subscribing, and checking me out across my social media links listed below. Thank you all so much, and see you next time.